Hey fellow Vault Dwellers, it's Angry Turtle and this is Full Guide for Railway Rifle. And as always, we cover everything step by step. Then first, how to get it, how to get plan for it, how to get modifications for this weapon, and of course, what are the costs. Unfortunately, there is no enemies that will be dropping a lot of railway rifles for you, therefore the best option to get them is just acquire plan and then craft some. If you'll be very lucky, legendary enemies can drop railway rifles too. If you need to buy plan, we are at Watoga Station, and Vendorbot at Watoga Station will sell us the plan for the weapon and some of the modifications. And as you can see in here, plan for railway rifle will cost you around 1400 caps if you have high charisma, and here the unique situation. It's like the only rifle that you need to buy automatic receiver and you cannot get it from scrapping. Luckily, it is very cheap. Apart from that, night vision scopes need to be learned from plans and cannot be learned from scrapping, but that's actually the situation with a lot of weapons. Usually night vision scope need to be purchased. There is one plan that you will need to get, like from Scorchbeast Queen, that's the Prime Receiver. Prime Receiver will be obtained from Scorchbeast Queen fight and all other receivers from scrapping the weapons. Now about crafting cost and requirements. You will find this weapon under machine guns and under the name Railway Rifle. The crafting requirements is gunsmith rank 3. The cost for max level, of course, if you craft for scrapping, always craft the lowest possible level. And just a quick reminder here, if you plan to make your railway rifle legendary, make sure you craft with as high intelligence on your character as you can get. Therefore, even if you are not blooded, going for the low health and equipping unyielding set for crafting is still a good idea, as condition bar is affected by your intelligence. Now, as you can see, there is quite a lot of steel and other resources involved in crafting. Even nuclear material. I don't know what exactly nuclear material is doing in railway rifle, but it's there. Now the modifications, and I unequip my commando perks in order to show you difference between automatic piston receiver damage and single fire receivers. The prime receiver is only for single fire, semi-auto railway rifle. There is no automatic prime receiver. That's exception, as usually every other rifle have both options. This one does not. And of course, standard receiver is low damage, 176, but still slightly higher than automatic one, 166 with my build. And prime receiver is the highest damage, therefore you can actually run this weapon as semi-automatic, especially taking into consideration low ammo capacity, and if you plan to use anything else than quad as a prefix, then semi-auto is a decent option. Now for the barrel choices, you can go with short barrel and long barrel that increase the range. If you want to use this weapon at all outside of VATS, you will need to go with short barrel, as short barrel reduce recoil by quite a lot, and this weapon has crazy recoil. It's hard to use it with anything else than a short barrel if you intend to use it outside of VATS. For VATS, doesn't matter. About the stock, you have only one option. You can put recoil compensating stock that helps with recoil, but even with that, recoil is still crazy. About the sight options, surprisingly, there is a lot. You can even try to snipe with that, although I will tell you that's not the best sniper you can get in this game. Definitely not intended for sniping, works perfect with reflex sight and use case in VATS. About the muzzle, you can put large bayonet if you want to use this weapon with bashing. Unfortunately, it does reduce the range and affects the condition bar negatively. And obviously, that's probably not a surprise, there is no suppressor option. It's just too loud for that. Now, about the ammo cost, it is unlikely you'll be crafting ammo for this weapon, as the main idea is to collect back some of the railway spikes and farm them in daily ops when needed. Although if you will go into crafting, it requires only steel, which means you can just pick up all the weapons from killed enemies, scrap them for steel, and make railway spikes. The biggest downside, those are very heavy. Bandolier is a must. Ultracite railway spikes, you will get a little bit more per craft. Unfortunately, apart from steel, you will need to sacrifice stable cobalt flux and one ultracite each craft. Therefore, in this case, crafting is definitely not the way to go. Daily op only as your main source of ultracite railway spikes. Now we'll take this weapon for the spin, and I will be talking about best possible legendary effects. You can see the build loadout I have at this moment. That's not the best what you can do with this weapon, that's just what I was using for my tests with many different rifles. Therefore, that's what I keep here. I do plan to release a dedicated build for railway rifle, as this is a very unique weapon, then stay tuned for that. And before I start shooting enemies, I will show you the best and the worst feature of this weapon in one clip. I will not be talking, you listen to the sound and observe the recoil. Choo-choo! That's the best feature, and of course recoil is the worst. And now I will shoot some enemies and I will be talking about best legendary effects. And for the prefix, that will be without a doubt the quad. As basically if you have anything else than the quad, the problem is base capacity, ammo capacity of this weapon is just 10 spikes. And as you can figure, 10 spikes with automatic receiver, that will go with like seconds if you hold your trigger for longer. The good feature of this weapon is low VATS cost, and yes, it's still a low VATS cost. If you notice that your railway rifle is using slightly more ammo, slightly more AP than it used to, that's because the bug causing this weapon to not consume AP at all with more than half of the shots was fixed. And as you can see, every single spike I fire consume AP correctly. Therefore, no, this weapon was not nerfed, but the bug was fixed. If you choose to run this weapon with prime receiver, then other prefixes like standard bloodied anti-armor will be good, as you will fire more slowly and do more damage per spike, then that's an option. Now about the second star, it's really cool when you get explosive. As explosive effect basically override the projectile and it fires like they fly much faster. Like those projectiles from railway do have a travel time, but it's not a big issue if you are using in VATS. Therefore, it's not necessary to have explosive, but it is really cool. Other second star effects that are worth considering is faster fire rate or VATS hit chance. And I usually like VATS hit chance, as this weapon is almost exclusively used in VATS due to the recoil. And this extra hit chance helps a lot to get all those headshots that you need to save on ammo and kill faster. As you can see, this is just a quad. The other effects are bad on this weapon. Therefore, quite often I need to fire like twice to actually get those headshots. Extra VATS hit chance would be awesome. And I am running inside the power armor, what's not helping. I don't have extra perception from unyielding. Let's try without VATS. Yeah, you can like hit 2-3 spikes without VATS. You just need to do quick burst as recoil. Will be crazy. Now going to the third star. What you are looking for, of course, the best option, less AP cost. Especially if you go for the single shot. As less AP cost with single shot is helping a lot. As if you do not know... accident happened. That's why I usually like to use blocker, and I don't have it in here. Without blocker, melee attacks are dangerous. And now back to the topic about the third star, and I was saying about the receiver. Every automatic receiver have built in 50% AP cost reduction. What's a lot? If you use single fire, then you don't have that. And it's good to have something else, like less AP cost. It's good for automatic as well. Don't make me wrong, it's good for automatic. Other than that, whatever can support you fast, like if you are missing a little bit of lag, you don't have enough lag to have critical every second shot, getting this faster crit meter, 15% faster, is good. Other than that, faster reload is really good, as you reload this weapon a lot. Even with quad, you reload it quite a lot. Therefore, it is a good option to have faster reload. And that's what I recommend. Let me know if you are using different setup and how do you like this weapon. Like, that's my favorite rifle of them all, thanks to the sound, of course. That's the main and only reason. Even if it will not do as much damage as it does, I would still love this weapon for the sound. Like, to train fun, for you. Try to grab one for yourself, or if you prefer, wait for my dedicated build and then grab one and try the build. And now, as always, thank you a lot for watching, and see you all in the next one.